Message for Democrats.
Resign.
We're here today at CPAC to ask Black Americans what their one message is for the Democratic Party.
You don't get to tell people what to think, but you do get to ask them to be consistent. And the biggest problem that Democrats face is that they act and pretend as if they're responsive to the needs of people of color. But when they actually are rewarded with the votes of people of color, the outcomes for Black and brown America never change. And so again, when you look at the places across this country, you're talking about increased wages, you're talking about increased opportunity, increased prosperity. All of these things are a result of conservative policies, always has been, always will be.
Please stop feeding this nonsense to the rest of the country. I mean, right now we're hearing a lot about socialism, right? And I love that because we hear about from people like Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders. And it's like they made millions of dollars from capitalism. So here you are selling socialism.
I listen to a lot of urban radio in Chicago, liberal radio, because I want to know how they're keeping us voting on that plantation. And they indoctrinate them by telling them, don't be a Republican because they don't care about you and they're wished right. But then you have all these Democrats that are corrupt and that are taking advantage of that, show up every 4 years in their church just to shake their hands and eat some chicken on air to say, I'm going to bring you some garbage cans and I'll take care of you.
And to me, it's like, socialism isn't something that anyone should buy. If you talk to anybody from a country like Venezuela, and they'll tell you socialism is what we dealt with, and that's why we're here in America today.
Let's tone down the language. Let's tone it back. Let's not try to hate each other or do this kind of thing. But let's have a real conversation on what the rights, roles, and responsibilities is of government.
And I just want a message to people that look like me is that you need to start voting your values. Black people, we grow up, there's a church on every corner. You're learning about what the traditional family values. And right now, that party, the Democrat Party, is about calling God a liar, saying that a man is not a man and a woman is not a woman. They unapologetically love killing babies.
We have to find a way as a party to make sure that that narrative gets home and resonates with people who are reluctant to walk in the tent. We're a big tent party, but we have to understand that there are people who are afraid if they walk in the tent, there'll be no oxygen there for them. And that's our responsibility, but it's a shared responsibility for people to come to the table and believe in the GOP again.
If we just voted our values, not only would you vote differently, you'd live differently about personal responsibility and not waiting for someone to save you. But their message is that we shouldn't love America. This isn't our country. And my ancestors built this country. Their legacy allowed me to live in the greatest country on the planet. It would be a sin for me to waste that opportunity of going around, I don't love America, and they don't want to embrace the flag. My ancestors helped build the flag and the stars and everything on it. It represents, I can come from the slave house to the White House in 200 years or less. I'm like, this is the greatest country where anybody with a dream, you're working hard enough, you can do whatever you want to. My mother dropped out of high school to have me. I didn't go to college, and my daughter has a master's degree from a private university because every generation just wanted to do a little bit better than the last. And this is, to me, only possible in America because that's the only country I've ever lived in. But I get chills when I think about this country, and it's just all I hear on liberal black radio, I call it liberal colored people radio, is that this isn't for you. This country was built for white men. I'm like, where is my country then if it's not for here? This is the best place on the planet to live, and we're blessed that we won the genetic lottery by being born here.